Hey everyone, it's Melissa. Today I'm going to do a video about being a grandparent, and I'm doing it with two other women who are also grandmothers. Her names are Pam, and her channel is Pam Over 50 Beauty and Lifestyle, and the other one is Teri, and her channel is Teri Gigi. Pam has such a wonderful channel. She it's a lifestyle type channel, and she has beautiful skin, and so she does skincare, and she does how to save money. She does cooking and recipes. She does get ready with me. It's just a good variety. It's just a wonderful channel, so be sure you go over there and watch her video and subscribe. Teri is another one, just has a wonderful channel. She's just gorgeous too. She does a variety of things, get ready with me's and skincare, and the ones I enjoy, she does vlogging that I enjoy, but the ones that I enjoy the most are when she vlogs in Paris, because I've never been, so I get to see a glimpse of what it looks like. And she's an author, and a very talented one too. She wrote a book about Marie Antoinette, and I bought it and read it, was on the edge of my seat, was riveted. I just really enjoyed it so much. So I will link both of their videos, of course, and their channels, and also Teri's book, because you want to make sure you read it. It is really good. So before I start this, I wanted to kind of mention that the only reason I'm sharing this is because I have talked about having Crohn's disease, and I shared it on my Instagram too. Unfortunately, my Crohn's disease has come back, and so I'm going to be having some surgery on Monday. I should be, back pretty quickly, and it should not interrupt. I started to say it shouldn't interrupt my schedule. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. It shouldn't interrupt my schedule, I started to say, but I don't really have a schedule. But any thoughts and prayers on Monday morning would be very much appreciated. But I'll be fine and back at them in no time. I may be a little bit slow answering comments, but I'll get back to you. So today's video, we're coming at it from different perspectives, sort of. Pam and I both live in the same town with our children and grandchildren, and Teri used to live in the same town with her children and grandchildren, but she moved to another state. So we're going to talk about it from different perspectives. I'm going to give you some background on myself. I have two children. I have a son and I have a daughter. My son has 4 children. And my daughter has 3 children. My son has two girls and then 2 boys, and my daughter has 3 girls. My daughter-in-law and son moved to the town that we live in before their first child was born, so all their children were born here. My daughter and son-in-law lived in Seattle. They adopted their first child that was born here in Tennessee, so they came here for the birth and then moved back to, went back to Seattle. So after that, they had their second child, and that's when they decided that they wanted to give up their careers. They were actors. They both had separate jobs and careers. They lived in a big city, and they gave all that up to move to a small town that they grew up in. So that is a little bit about me. There are, of course, advantages and disadvantages to living in the same town with your children. The biggest advantages are, they've got a built-in babysitter. They've got, they can call right quick, Mom, I've got to go run to the store right quick. Can you come over and watch the kids? Or we want a date night, can you watch the kids for us while we go out to dinner or to a movie or something like that. And and Doug and I get to have the experience of spending time with these children that we love just so dearly. So that's just a big advantage. Plus the kids get to know their cousins and their extended family, and I just I think that's a wonderful thing for them. But there are disadvantages, not so much disadvantages, but I think things that you have to sort of be aware of. The first one is when and how much, or not at all, to interfere. And this is something that I think that is very big, because it can cause a lot of resentment. If there is something, I really try hard not to interfere. I have raised my children, so it's their turn to raise their children. If there's something that I see that I think, not necessarily that they're doing wrong, but maybe that there's another way that they could look at it and do a different way, from a different perspective. I will sit down with either my son or my daughter, never my daughter-in-law or my son-in-law, and I would talk to them about it, and I try to do it in a very respectful way. Have you thought about doing it this way? What are your feelings on this? And then they can sit and think about it, or they can discuss it with their spouse and then say, you know, I appreciate your input, but this is the way that we've chosen to do it. And okay, I've, said my piece, and everybody's happy. So that is something I think that I have to be a little bit careful with. I don't ever just drop in. I try to, make sure that boundaries are there, and I don't want them to get tired of me. I don't want them to resent me. I would never just drop in unannounced or anything. If I wait for them to invite me, if for some reason I need to drop something by or something, I call, is this a convenient time to drop by this dish that I have, or whatever it is. I'm always trying to be respectful of them. So I think that is important for us, and that sort of works with us, is keeping our boundaries and respect. And another way that we do to keep boundaries is they have certain rules that they have for their children that I always try to respect. But in the same time, they have to realize that I want to be a grandmother too, and indulge their children to a certain extent. So they would prefer that they not watch too much TV. They would prefer that they not have too much, sugar. So I respect that. I will not ever let them watch a movie that their parents don't want them to watch, or TV shows, or if they watch TV, I always turn it off after just a certain amount of time and say, that's enough TV, well, let's do something else. But what they have asked me, or what they would rather not do, that I have a problem with, is they feel like I indulge them and buy them too many things. My daughter always says my love language is to buy things for the grandchildren, and that could be right. They've got to realize that this is something that is very important to me, to be able to say, come on, let's go to Walmart and I'm gonna buy you a toy. Occasionally, I don't overdo it, but if we go out to eat at Cracker Barrel, I like to let them go pick out a toy. So, while I respect the boundaries that they have set for me, I also want them to realize that I want to be a grandparent, and that they have to let me have the freedom to indulge them a little bit. So we have had to have a happy medium with that. When we do have conflicts, I have shared before that I always fix Sunday dinner for them. My daughter and my daughter-in-law are both stay-at-home moms. I like to give them a break from cooking that day. Plus, it's a way for the children to get together and play. But if there is a conflict, and there was actually this past Sunday, I will, the kids will go in the other room, and the adults will sit at the table and talk about it. And we did have to talk about this. I was already wanting to get started with Christmas shopping, and they felt like it was too soon. I wanted to buy too much. I was pushing it. So they felt like I needed to back off a little bit, and I needed to explain to them, this is the things that I want to do, and then this is the way that I like to grandparent. So we had some conflict there, but I think we resolved it with both of us compromising. I think compromise is a big thing when you live in the same town with your adult children. They have to feel like they're their own person, and that they have to raise their children the way that they want to, and like it or not, it's their show, and we have to support that. One more thing I wanted to mention is how you discipline when you are a grandparent and you are keeping them and living in the same town. What works for me is, I've tried the time out, and that works sometimes, and being firm, and do not be doing that, using my firm voice. But a lot of times, if it just won't work, I will say, now look, if you don't do what I say. I am going to have to call your mother or your father, and they will have to leave what they're doing and come home and deal with this, and they will be very upset with you. So I think that that's the best way that it seems to work for me, is just to say, because they always say, no, please don't call mommy or daddy, please don't call them. No, we'll go to bed, we'll cooperate, we'll do what we're supposed to do. So I haven't really had any problems with things like that, trying to discipline them. Usually if I just talk to them, they're usually good, about it. If I need to pull out the big guns, I pull out the I'm going to call mommy or daddy card. So that always works. So, while there are disadvantages, there are so many advantages. Like I said, we have our Sunday dinners, the cousins, I have side tables, and the cousins pair up with the other cousins that are their age. And, they'll have little discussions. How was your day today? They have their own little conversations. They play together, they all gather, they play together, they have such a good time. They have a good support system with each other. They will ask while we're sitting in the dining room, Papa, what were you like when you were a little boy? Did you get in trouble? Or Missy, what were you like when you were a little girl? What were your parents like? What were your grandparents like? So they learn about their history and about what their family is like. They also learn about their parents. They'll say, what did Daddy do when he was a boy? I bet he got into trouble. Or what did Mommy do? I bet she did this or did that. So, they've got all this support system. And plus, when you throw in more extended family, Doug's sister lives here, her children, they've got cousins, they've got second cousins, they've got aunts, and they've got uncles that live close by. We all get together, and I just think it makes for a lot of security. They've got this big extended family to, comfort them and to always be supportive of them. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure you go over and watch Pam and Teri's video right now, because I know that they're going to be just wonderful. I appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.